Hey all, welcome to my channel. Just going to talk very briefly and quickly about in this video about Draymond Green basically and Sabonis and the whole thing with the Golden State Warriors and Sacramento Kings, basically the entire playoff picture and such, as far as what's going on with Sabonis versus what's going on with Draymond Green, basically. I mean, honestly, it's a question of like, based on the game that Sacramento won against. It comes down to this basically. Should Sabonis be also away? Should he be suspended in ways or something like that in nature? To the fact that they suspended. I know. I admit. I do admit that in the case of. Sorry, I'm going to be drinking a little bit of smoothie too. Homemade as well. I'll actually create a little video about the ingredients I put in here, basically. But in any case, it's a question of, in my prior videos, I actually said that Draymond Green should be suspended because of the fact of how he acts. I mean, quite honestly, based on the kick that he did on, game one, I'm sorry, game two, sorry, what had happened, he I felt, should have been suspended for game three, for sure. I mean, it's a matter of, yeah, it's totally understandable. He's basically reacting to what's going on. And the fact of the matter is he's kind of that bullyish aspect. More like I said, he's got that Dennis Rodman perspective. He thinks that if Dennis Rodman was able to get away with things like this, maybe he should be able to as well too. Because you provide that aura of electricity, being a defensive person with some offensive skills as well too, that the NBA shouldn't come after you. Quite honestly, the thing is like, it's granted, like, now I'm not saying taking anything away from Greene. Like, it's not as far as being justified kicking our Sabonis, but I mean, granted, yeah, he had every right to be frustrated with what Sabonis has been doing. I mean, quite honestly, Sabonis is no innocent victim here. Let's put it that way. I mean, if you see game one and game two, Sabonis has been doing a lot of stuff here and there at this point, quite honestly. He's been doing a lot of things in between the stuff, and those are like a little bit of the intangibles as well, too. Now, granted, that makes sense to the point where, like, you know what? Should he or should not? Should Draymond Green be justified for what his reaction was and then not be suspended? I think it's a case of no. This is Sabonis working him basically. It's just like other players in the past have done as well as now, where you try to basically get on their nerves. When you get on their nerves, you want them to react so that they can get suspended. First, create a foul, then technical, and if possible, ejection and maybe potential suspension during the series. And it's been well known and well put. It's been well known and well done in the past, quite honestly. And the fact that they almost didn't suspend him for game three, Draymond Green for game three, kind of irked me a little bit, quite honestly, because those actions, granted, it might have been a case of like him frustrated with what someone else is getting away with. But in reality, Sabonis is not like punching him. Yeah, granted, yeah, he was pulling him down and all that stuff. But you know what? That's what the refs are for. Have the refs look at him. And, if come game two, game three, like let the refs see it at that point. If there's an issue to the point where the refs are not doing anything, you know what? That's what the team president and as well as the general manager of your team is supposed to do. File a complaint. Let's see what happens and go forward with that. And you know what? If you want, if the NBA doesn't do anything, then you make it public and you kind of like not rat him out, but embarrass him at that point, showing all this stuff and so forth, showing they're favoring a white man over a black man, whatever it may be, etc. Basically, you could even go that race card route too, honestly, because honestly, they could have done that, and then we would have to like scroll, step back and then realize, oh, we did it wrong, basically, and whatnot, basically at that point. In this case, this is a case where like the NBA seems to overreact to fan reactions. Now, the fact that they weren't going to suspend him and then they do suspend him means only one thing is like they reacted because of the fans' outrage because of what Greene did. Quite honestly, I think if the NBA left it as is, they would have left Greene in because of the fact is I think they want this to be a good series. I think they want the Golden State Warriors to go far into this series, as well as go far into the playoffs, for that matter as well too. It's like putting it this way: during the Bulls run era, would they have, if Pippen had done something of this nature, would they have actually suspended Pippen to the point where, like, if they suspended Pippen, would the game or the series be affected because of Pippen's suspension? Yes, and that reason, and from that aspect, Jordan would not be able to progress further into the playoffs. Because, like, let's be honest, without Pippen or Rodman for that matter, and for those last three title runs, without those two, Jordan doesn't have those three extra rings. Quite honestly, as good as he was, you need those stars, you need those role players at that point as well too. So let's be honest with that. So in this situation, I think, yeah, Curry and Klay Thompson are truly pissed because they have no physical presence. They themselves are not physical. There's no one on the team that's actually truly physical like Draymond Green. So I think it's a case where the NBA is definitely overreacting. The NBA is reacting to fan outrage when they made their original decision. You know what? The NBA should have just stuck with their guns, stuck with the fact that, like, okay, we're not going to suspend it. Even though I'm saying that they should have suspended him, they should have let him unsuspend him and then see what happens and play a tight, make the game, or put a little bit more scrutiny, or more so actually putting Draymond Green under a microscope on Game 3, as well as Sabonis for that matter too. Let's not forget that. Putting those two under a microscope, putting the refs like, hey, make sure you look at them, make sure things go clean, make sure things are clean. Honestly, they did it, and they were overreact. I think they reacted to fan outrage, and it's one of those things like, I don't believe in that aspect where you have to react because the fans are reacting. I think the NBA should have reacted based on their own accord, not based on fan reaction. So in this case, if you ask me, does Draymond Green deserve to be suspended for Game 3? Yes. Should he be suspended now? No. Because you know what? The NBA chose not to suspend him initially, and now they do because of fan reaction. So in reality, I think, honestly, they need to go back and take it back. I'm still for the fact that, like, Green should be suspended because of his actions. But the fact that the NBA had a day and a half to actually react after fan outrage, that's what pisses me off a little bit about the NBA. Is the fact is, like, they're reacting versus sticking to their own guns. And so that's one of the things I think in this aspect. Bring back Draymond Green and then put him under a microscope. Let's see what happens. But outside of that, that's it. I mean, granted, yeah, I'm kind of like, it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but I think the point I'm trying to make is this. It's not the fact that Draymond Green should be suspended or not. It's the fact that the NBA are gutless cowards that can't stick by their own decisions. They're basing it off a popular decision at this point. It's like basically you're the president of some. No, you're not a president, but you're basically some dude who's a social media influencer in a ways, and you're basically going to do what the fans want you to do. That's pretty much it. It's pretty much what it comes down to is this. It's like what some of the networks are or some of the studios are at this point in Hollywood, where they base it off of fans and ticket sales. That's what it comes down to versus sticking to their guns. If that was the case, Seinfeld would have been canceled a long time ago. I mean, canceled a long time ago in the early 90s, late 80s. And we would never have had Seinfeld, and we would have been robbed of a great show. So I think in this situation, this is what the NBA is basically they're not sticking to their guns. They're just reacting to whatever it is. I kind of like Stern back in the day where, yeah, there was some aspect of he reacted. There was some actions or reactions based on fan outrage, but sometimes they just stuck with their guns. This case, they're not doing. Adam Silver is not doing that. He's just basically just going with whatever the popular momentum is at that point. And that's pretty much, I feel, is the wrong. That's what my issue is. It's not the fact that they're suspending or not suspending him. It's the fact that the NBA has no voice of their own anymore. It's pretty much gone. They're just letting the players run wild at this point, and that's it. If that's the case, let the players decide. Should Draymond Green be suspended or should he be not suspended at that point? If that's the case, let the players decide then. Because that's what it seems like it should have been done at this point, honestly. Don't go with the fans. Go with the players at that point. I don't think they took any input with the players at that point. Granted, the NBA Players Union might come back and it's like, hey, he shouldn't be suspended, etc. Basically, but we'll see what happens from that. Anyways, I'll just leave it at that. If you like this video, please like or dislike. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And again, leave some comments. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Draymond Green should be suspended or not suspended? Do you believe what I'm thinking, basically, where the NBA kind of are gutless cowards? They just have no guns. They have no voice. They'll just go with whatever the popular vote is, essentially. Let me know your thoughts. Put it in the comments. Again, also leave some feedback. I welcome some feedback. It's great in that point. With that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, and unrehearsed. Until next time.